Jesus? No, they were jockeying for position. The argument that the disciples were having, you guys remember when after Jesus transcended on the mountain? They go down and they're arguing who's the greatest. It was about themselves, selfishness. I think we all gravitate towards that because that's what our flesh wants. What's in it for me? Now, no doubt James and John felt relief that they had gotten to Jesus with this request before Peter did. Because you know Peter, he'll say what's on his mind. Hey, I want to be on your right hand. But they beat him to the punchline. But when the other 10 disciples actually heard what they had done, they became angry and annoyed. Why do you think they became angry? Put yourself in their place. Why would you become angry? They were upset at James and John because they tried to grab the top positions in the heavenly kingdom. That pretty much sums it up, right? We want to be on the top echelon in this kingdom of God. But again, Jesus corrects them. That's not the way you do it. All the disciples wanted to be great in God's kingdom. I don't think that's a bad thing, wanting to be great in God's kingdom from a heavenly perspective, which Jesus is correcting them right now. We know that they all wanted to be great in God's kingdom because we read about it in Matthew chapter 18, verse 1. You remember that? He says, it says in 18:1, at that time the disciples came to Jesus and asked. They actually asked the question, all of them, who then is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? Who then? They're basically saying, which one of us is going to be number one and number two? So the request was indignation on the part of the other disciples. Maybe this is opinion. I guess opinion shouldn't really be thrown out there too much, but perhaps they thought they're upset because we didn't think of it first. Here's the thing. The wisdom from above leads to peace. The wisdom they chose to use, the wisdom of the world, leads to war. They chose to lean, James and John, on the wisdom of the world. And what did it cause among their brothers? Division, anger. We want you guys to turn here to James chapter 3, verse 13. Speaking of wisdom. And also, we'll read a couple verses in chapter 4 to talk about anger. And this has really stuck with me. When I get angry, I don't want to think about this verse because it's so true. James chapter 3, verse 13, all the way through chapter 4, verse 3. Verse 13 says, who is wise and understanding among you? Let him show it by his good life, by deeds done in humility that comes from wisdom. But if you harbor bitter envy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast about it or deny the truth. Such wisdom does not come down from heaven, but is earthly, unspiritual, of the devil. He goes on to expound even more. He says, for where you have envy and self-ambition, there you find disorder and every evil practice. But the wisdom that comes from heaven is first of all pure, then peace-loving, considerate, submissive, full of mercy and good fruit, impartial and sincere. Peacemakers who sow in peace raise a harvest of righteousness. And now we move on to chapter 4, verse 1 and 2. What causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from your desires that battle within you? Now, verse 2 is what really gets me. Maybe I shouldn't even read it. It's just really, you want something, but you don't get it. You will kill and covet, but you cannot have what you want. You ever really think about when you get in arguments with people, you get upset because you didn't get what you wanted? If you really